All right, welcome back to our day 3 coverage of E3. Today for you, instead of all of the Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft reveals, we have just games for you. And to start it off, we have Peter,
Hello.
Dave,
Hello.
and Alex, also known as Reb,
That's not as common yet. Hello.
and myself, Matt, because he's a commie. All right, today we're going to start out with Battlefield 4. So discuss.
Dude.
They definitely need to put a subtitle of the literal Skyfall. That's one my suggestion to to DICE and the development team.
That'd be quite nice. But no, they pretty much showed the same gameplay today, but they talked a little bit more about what the specifics of the game were going to be. It seemed like it was one of the things today where they actually just asked the developer real questions. One thing they definitely said today was we're going to now have 64 people on the PC and the next gen consoles.
Way to steal my notes, dickface.
While the current gen consoles are going to be 24 players.
Yeah, that's really cool. But what they said the reasoning for that was to keep it low on the current consoles because they wanted to keep the destructibility. Like with Reb saying Skyfall, they showed a building falling down, and
We're leveling at least 100-story buildings now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the Xbox can maybe marginally handle that.
yeah. That's why they're not giving the 64 people for that, so that the 360 can still handle.
And also with that
building falling
24-player cap, don't worry, you're not going to be aimlessly walking around with no one to shoot. The maps are most likely going to be smaller, like what they did with Battlefield 3. So
Yeah, the coolest thing I thought about that was, Conquest is the game type that they were displaying, and they said that with the building, one of the points is on top of that building that they destroyed, and when they destroyed it, it actually fell to the ground so the other team could get it. That was one of the cool things that I saw. But other than that, the jet skis just blew my mind. I saw the jet skis and just went, I'm gonna get this.
yeah, they've actually flushed out the naval aspect of the Battlefield games. Because before you had a rowboat, like a motorized boat with a machine gun in the front, and you're like, yeah, let's go at it. Or if
Now
you
we have
played,
that same motorized boat with a 25mm autocannon.
I bet you they probably have other boats that don't have that, but they should make the floating tanks from the Second World War and put those in.
I think they should add tugboats. Just to get Tugboat Steve up there.
Can we have
No, they could
Steamboat
do
Willie?
They could do something like Sand Trap from Halo 3, and you have a flag cap on the boat that moves around.
Just get the elephant.
Well, no, it'd be can elephants swim?
They can walk in water. I don't know. I've never cared to check
they
it
can
out.
call it the beluga or something.
The narwhal.
It's set like a
Instead
pike.
of a gun, it has a pike on the front. So, any more thoughts on that?
It looked really smooth. I liked the destroying the environment to trap tanks. I thought that was really, really cool.
They
showed
had
that
the LAV fall through the floor.
Yeah,
into, the parking garage. That was pretty cool.
He just shot a little pillar and down falls a tank.
Yeah.
That's probably an oh shit moment though. You're down there, having a little firefight, and you can't really fit vehicles in. Then just a tank falls through the roof.
Yeah, it seemed like the tank was having real problems, actually shooting at the guy who dropped him through the floor. But
I think
it was supposed to be one of those trap situations.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I probably didn't have the gun depression, honestly, to hit him, but
just
that was
the cinematics in the game that they showed were pretty outstanding. I mean, just how much better can it get than your jump out of a building, you're hanging there on a parachute, watching the building you just jumped out of crumble.
It did take it a while. They're like, oh, the building is coming down, and they have enough time to parachute down, and then hang out for a few moments, turn around, and just be like, oh, that's a nice building. And then it explodes.
C4 it's going to take.
Yeah. They also touched on the fact that like big environment changes like that are actually going to affect the map. They said something to the tune of like the dust cloud from the building coming down is going to come up and affect like helicopters and sniper scopes and stuff like that. And I just thought it was really cool to integrate
a choke
kinda...
mechanic now. You have to wear a gas mask.
It sounded like they had sound depression with it as well.
They had that with the suppression effect in Battlefield 3. Like you'd go a bit dull or a bit deaf, not dull. Screen gets a bit blurry, so I guess you could call that dull, but whatever.
I mean, the way you played BF3, it was dull, but
Dude, no, support with just really big LMGs that you couldn't see anything. I didn't have to hit anything. It was fun. But no, one of the things I did like was they finally decided to add a new faction to the Battlefield 3, Battlefield multiplayer, because for the longest time, Battlefield 2 they had, I think, something else. They had the Chinese, I want to say, or there was some like Chinese like splinter faction. But for the past couple Battlefields, it's been the Russians, and there's nothing wrong with the Russians, but they get a bit tired. Though I want to see them return. It's good to see that you're fighting more than one, nation in this. Because it's like Battlefield 3, we're in Africa fighting the Russians. We're in Paris fighting the Russians. We're in Russia fighting the Russians. Well, where else can we go and fight the Russians? But now we
there are a
actually
couple
get to
other
fight the
places.
Chinese in China. So
Oh, man.
it's a big step, I know, but they're getting there.
All right, next game that showed up was a reboot of Command and Conquer. What they're doing is pretty much a spiritual successor to Generals. I know Alex and I are pretty excited about this.
We built for China!
Yeah, they still have the 3 factions from Generals, which was pretty much the
GLA, which
GLA,
is
which is
Islamic,
your
like,
terrorists. You have the
US,
Chinese, and then the
Chinese.
U.S. Yeah. One thing that caught my eye was they're going to use the Frostbite 2 engine, which was really cool, and it's also free to play online, which is I don't remember if it's different for Command and Conquer games because I never really played online. I just kind of hung out and made my own games and whatnot. But it's going to be 3v3, up to 3v3, and it's got a closed beta going on now that you can sign up for on their website, and it's planning to launch in the fall, which is going to be exciting. I might pick it up myself.
Yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable on the game itself, but because you just mentioned it's on the Frostbite engine, I'm starting to notice that's looking like it's going to be a really, really versatile engine. I mean, obviously it's running the new Battlefield and stuff like Warfighter, but I mean, we'll get into this a little bit more. But they even announced that they were going to be running the new Need for Speed on the Frostbite engine.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Right, like
I mean, this engine is shaping up to be really, really versatile.
That's cool. Well, speaking of Need for Speed,
Oh,
that's
is that
up
where we're
next. That's where we are. Unless Alex, you got any more comments on Command and Conquer?
Oh, well, with the Command and Conquer, it's always been, you've always, had to go to the store and purchase it or buy it off Steam. So I'm kind of interested to see how their free-to-play, I guess, economic system is going to work out. Like, I don't want to be paying money to buy, I guess if you've played Red Alert, like the Apocalypse tank, which is the best tank in the game for certain factions. And if it turns into like some pay-to-win fest, I'm really like that kind of disappoints me.
They brought that point up and said we're driving away from that, and they're trying to make it so that the things that you pay for are more for vanity instead of buying the Apocalypse tank, like you said, so that it's going to be just buy to have something look cooler instead of pay to win, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, buying skins actually, that's pretty marketable because people do like to personalize and make their faction or their units fit to their own personal aesthetic.
Yeah.
So I think that should do pretty well with the famed Command and Conquer. As I don't think they'll have any trouble getting an audience.
Yeah, I mean the only place we've seen that in the video game world so far is things like League of Legends, where you don't run into many people on there that are running the basic skins if they kind of consider themselves to be good at that game. I mean, the skins are almost as important as buying the character. The other place we've seen that a lot is in some of the older tabletops. You can buy the same kit that's got all the same people, but you won't find two people that painted their guys the same.
So it's like Monopoly.
Yeah.
You have the regular Monopoly, and then you have the
Star Trek.
15,000 other other versions of it. Yes, Star Trek, where it's all in Klingon.
I mean, if you want to buy somebody's hopes and dreams, you could probably find somebody's giant Warhammer set on eBay for no money.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone should play Imperial Guard. Just thought I should point that out there.
All right. Well, moving on. Peter, you said you had some stuff to talk about for Need for Speed Rivals.
Oh, yeah. They showed off some really cool stuff. I mean, again, we said yesterday we're not really the biggest motorsports fans. We don't, right now we're Xbox guys, but we haven't really done too much with Forza. In fact, we've done damn near zero with Forza.
Where's Cole when we need them?
Yeah.
However, they showed off some really cool concepts. I mean, they revealed that it was going to be running on the Frostbite engine. That was cool. One of the really cool gameplay mechanics that they showed off was the seamless transition from single to multiplayer, where you'd just be rolling around in your own world, and then if a friend happened to roll on by and was doing, like a similar objective to you, they would then just kind of feed them into your game seamlessly, and all of a sudden you'd be either teaming up or versing your buddy based on what they were doing and what you were doing at the time.
So it almost has like an MMO aspect to it. It's like
Kinda.
it's like a public event from like a Guild Wars game.
Yeah, a little bit. We talked about that some too yesterday, where with
Destiny's
Diablo 3
doing the
being
same thing.
Instance.
Well, then I took that right from the like the gameplay demo quote that some guy said that. You just kind of
Aren't you creative?
Yeah,
Oh,
Reb,
yes.
keeping this back straight. Oh, there was
Do you want
the
me to
first,
cite that?
there was the first Reb slip up.
Oh,
I've already said Reb.
I probably called it a joke, Peter. So
Ah. Don't worry, we'll just the people that are listening will try and keep it straight.
Oh, he
Should
just
give him a
said
glossary?
Joe. No big deal. All right. Well, since no shits are given about Need for Speed, let's move on to Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Yeah, it's
pretty now.
just for the Wii, but they said that it going to come out in October, and you can use the gamepad for like the Wii U to play on it. HD, so 1080p, looks brilliant. I love cell shading. Like that is one of my favorite styles of art right now. I don't know why. I think it was Borderlands came about, and I just fell in love with cell shading.
Yes.
cell
You can
shading
use-
is
yeah.
It is a very nice thing to do. Granted, I know a bunch of people don't actually like it.
Bitches.
Yeah, basically, like I'm no artistic master, but I do have a mild artistic background, and it's a very unique way to render and draw things from a gaming perspective. And I think for a game like that, it really adds to it. And
Yeah.
I guess the universe and land that you're actually in the game really is one of the selling points. So if you're in a place that just it's really boring and bland, no one wants to play there. But
Yeah.
that's what made Wind Waker very good was the
brings
environment.
out like the cartoonish aspect of it, and like the whimsical feeling of it, I guess, is one of the big things with it. And like a few of the things that they kept talking about was it is a Nintendo game, and right now Nintendo has a deal with Best Buy where if you go on to Best Buy and look at their site, at select stores, you can play every single Nintendo game that's on demo at E3 at a few Best Buys, which was really awesome. But they upgraded the sea travel, which if you played Wind Waker at all, that's a big part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it faster and better, and just kind of improved on it. And then the other thing that I thought was really awesome was the fact that they're like messages in a bottle that you can create. Like you go pick up a bottle, you can leave a message in it, toss it in the ocean, and it can end up on a friend of yours game. Like just out of nowhere, you'll pick up a bottle and it'll have a note from a friend of yours.
Now, is that going to have some form of sensor on it? Because I can just imagine a lot of people just trolling the crap out of anyone and everyone.
They haven't said anything, but it's Nintendo, so
Yeah.
probably.
I'm going to assume it's like
you're gonna see a whole lot more of that on PSN and Xbox Live than you are on. I mean, do we even know if they've improved the friend system on the Wii U? Because I know with the Wii U, it was such a pain to even like.
You mean the Wii?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. On the Wii, it was such a pain to even attempt to connect with a friend.
I don't know. I don't have a Wii. Couldn't tell you anything about it.
I have a Wii, but I think it's used more as a paperweight and a dust collector right now.
Well, you better get some of that new and improved compressed air on it.
I don't know. That's Japanese technology right now. It probably has its own little things full of them.
All right. Well, moving on from that, we have Watch Dogs again. Huge for us, but it was them showing the demo and just telling us more things about it, which I just liked it even more with what they were telling us. There's like the way that they evaded the cops in that game. You could do it stealthy, or you can just go full speed and try to outrun them. That was really cool. And the fact that you can hack into literally everything going on in Chicago. Like,
yeah, that
you
one
can,
scene. Oh,
yeah. Sorry. Like when one of those guys in the coffee shop recognized him, started calling the cops. You go up to him, take his phone, and smash it. You could also hack into it and shut his phone down or something. That was an awesome idea, that you have multiple situations that you can deal with something.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me though was when he was in that, I guess, just underground part of the roadway, and he pulls up all the roadblocks and then just crosses the street.
Oh no, that wasn't him. That was a friend of his through Smart Glass.
Oh,
like the thing that they told us about that is you can send from your game. You can send out like a ping to your friends who, if they feel like helping you, they can get on their tablet or on their phone and help you from anywhere and just make a few quick do something real quick. Like what they did was EMP'd the helicopter and then raised those whatever they're called, barriers, right, and stop the cops from finding you. And that allowed you to get away from them, and then you walked into a group of cops, start the blackout, and then they run away in a couple of different ways throughout that, so you can do whatever. It's just given the options. They said instead of the usual types of gameplay which is stealth and direct combat, they added hacking, so you can do a combination of all three or stay in one of those and play your game like that.
Yeah, they added. I know I'm going back, but they announced some of the same functionality for BF3 in the form of the new Commander mode, where basically you're able to use the same, Smart Glass or the PSN app, and you effectively can help your team by controlling some of the I guess they were map assets that you gain control of. They showed him effectively launching a missile at a tank from a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was the points on the map, those conquest flags. They attributed to some form of bonus your commander would receive.
Right.
Or in the form of air support and such.
So I know I touched on this before, but I'm just really, really glad to see Xbox and PlayStation integrating these tablet controller ideas that really made the Wii U stand out and kind of, doing it in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Only the Xbox would let us buy used games, though.
Well, you can buy them. It's just you have to pay.
Again.
You just have to pay twice.
Well, I could loan it to you if you're my friend, or hell,
well,
if you're
no, there's
family
no
member.
loaning. There's a this.
Yeah, there's literally a gifting that you don't get back.
You can't really see. I was doing the quote, the air quotes there, but
sarcasm is a little difficult as well.
Well, considering I speak in sarcasm.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to talk with. Between the two of us, it's difficult to have an actual conversation.
Yeah.
90% of what we say is sarcastic.
Sarcastic?
But here's the question: was that sarcastic?
Maybe.
Stay tuned next week for the continuation of
Sarcasm Podcast 09. All right. Well, next up we have South Park: Stick of Destiny or
Oh, boy.
Truth, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't care.
I think it's true.
It's awesome. I mean, it's made by Obsidian and Ubisoft, with Trey and Matt both being completely immersed in it. Like they are doing
Thank you.
all of the writing, I guess. They'll go in every day the same way. They're treating it like a movie of South Park, where they go in every day and rewrite everything, write everything, and test out just situations constantly. Which
that
I
means
thought
it
was
take them a little
amazing.
over a month to make it because they make each episode of South Park in a week.
I said a movie, not an episode.
Yeah, well, a movie. Let's say it's an hour and a half. Each episode of South Park's about 20 minutes.
Yeah, they said
So-
they've been working on this for about 4 years in between the episodes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well then,
Like anytime
They're
they
not
have
treating
off
it like a
from
normal
the
South Park
anytime they
episode.
have off of an episode, they go and work on that. And it's the same way they worked with the Book of Norman and their movie Book of Mormon. Wow.
Book of Mormon's hilarious. If you haven't seen that, any of you or people listening, go watch the Book of Mormon. You will laugh your ass off. You really will.
Well, I don't frequent New York enough.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd
I'm
love
only
to.
5 hours away,
Yeah.
so actually, I just saw Nice Work if you can get it. Don't think it's actually in Broadway anymore, but very good.
It's moving around. Like they're having it travel and whatnot. They really didn't announce anything else on that. They said it could be later this year. Like in the trailer, they said holiday this year or holiday some point, whatever. They were very vague on that.
It's
Right.
a holiday.
It's a holiday.
Probably gonna get like
Well,
Kwanzaa or
probably.
something.
Chrismapala Kwanzaa. Okay, next up we have Wolfenstein, which Alex, you're very vocal about it. I'll let you
Giant
talk about
Nazi death machines, and they went to the moon. I mean,
it. They did go to the moon?
during the gameplay trailer, he was looking through some offices and he scrounged up some ammunition and such, and then he took time to look at some posters, and it was at least a bunch of Nazis in spacesuits. So they've
I
at
didn't notice
least
that.
gone out of the atmosphere. So
Well, I mean,
Iron
it's
Sky.
it is
And
the
by
nice-
the way, this is actually a very true and historic retelling of how World War II really happened.
yeah, the Nazis did win. We just have no idea that they did.
And that's across that really big pond called the Atlantic Ocean. We don't know what the hell happens over there.
We have
I
no
mean,
clue.
honestly. But no, overall, that it looks like it's the story for that. It's probably extraordinarily laughable. I mean, when your main character is B.J. Blazkowicz and he's like the grandfather to the Doom guy, you don't. And there's not gonna be a whole lot of character development. You don't really care for the story. It's for just the crazy stuff you get to do. Like, you can dual wield, I think they said, nearly every gun in the game.
Yeah, they said outside of like the chain guns. The thing that caught my attention was they said one of the most powerful things you're going to get are dual wielding shotguns, and I just
Yeah.
couldn't stop laughing.
And
But
it seems, the whole game
Nazi
seems like,
robots
yeah,
was
the
my
whole
favorite
game
thing.
seems like it's a great throwback to a style of game that doesn't really exist anymore, which is like the original 3D FPSs. And where you could, like, where the shotgun reigned supreme, and there was no story. It was, here's a gun, here's a guy shooting at you, and just go shoot him and enjoy it. You don't need a fancy story. You just need fancy guns and some decent levels.
Well, they had the like arc welder type gun. From
That looked
Red
very
Faction,
cool.
If anybody's
I
played that.
really hope you could kill people with that because as
I
much
don't know
fun as
why
it is
he
to
didn't
murder-
attack the robot with that. I
Like,
mean, there's a
murdering
robot
fences.
chasing after him where he could have gone. Like, it seemed very scripted. Where you must run under this. Why the hell not use that gun that can tear through metal?
I think it's one of the it's a gameplay demo, and the guys who do that, they always walk around slowly. They look at the skybox, and they just do it to show off the technical aspects of the game. So, because like if you're playing like that level they demoed last year with Halo 4, when it's called Infinity, I think it's the 4th mission, and you're in the jungle. That guy, he was just taking a grand old time walking through the jungle. He's like, let's look at all the leaves. Well, you're just running through. So when the game releases, you'll probably be able to do that. But for the purpose of a gameplay demo, they tone it down a bit and slow it down so you can see everything.
It doesn't really fall into line with what we've seen the rest of this E3 though. I mean, when we're seeing Romans getting stabbed and mechs being ripped apart, and it just it seems like you'd want to show what you got.
Yeah.
Well, towards the end of the demo, they did. There was at least a decent sized engagement. Like, we don't really know how big the engagements are going to get in Wolfenstein, but there was lasers. There were I guess they kind of looked like they're like robotic dogs. They kind of look like those robotic dog mechs from the second Mass Effect game, and with German helmets strapped to them. So that was very funny.
And giant teeth as well. You got to remember that.
Yeah, so I do like the retro future atmosphere they had going there. So overall, I probably will buy it. I'm not trying to endorse the product or anything.
Maybe you can gift it to me and I'll play it.
I'll put you as family on the Xbox One.
I can be a family guy and use your shared library. That's
I can give it up to 10 people. So.
All right. Well, they announced that it's going to come out holiday of this year for every console, even though we still don't know when the PS4 is coming out.
I think they also said the PC. I want to say they said the PC, but
I think they said PC, but they said PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360,
and the Super Nintendo system.
Oh, why would you not have anything for that?
I mean, I just played some Halo 4 on that today. It was pretty good.
Okay. Next up, we had Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U and Wii.
Yeah.
There's 8 of them.
Anti-gravity. Awesome concept.
And hovercrafts.
And you got that. Yeah, you got that with the glider, which was really cool. You got glider from Mario Kart 7 that they kept in it, and that was really cool. It's the first HD Mario Kart. They brought back Waluigi and Toadette. Anybody that knows anything about that, whatever, knows that. Who the fuck is Toadette?
It's Toad's sister?
Yeah, and then Peach is his daughter. How does that make sense?
Whoa, wait.
Wait, you just blew my mind.
Toad was the king. Princess Peach, his daughter.
I thought Toad was like some derpy servant who ran around.
No, he's the king.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like royalty.
I feel like I've just been smacked in the face with something.
Did you not ever watch the awesome Super Mario movie, even?
Which one? The live-action one?
The live-action one with
dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah. It was King Toad, Princess Peach. That's what it's always been.
All right.
Wow.
How am I the only one that knows this? If I'm wrong, shut the fuck up. I'm right. But yeah, it looked great. They also brought back tricks for speed boosts, which they had in Mario Kart for the Wii. They've had that for a while, where you can be like, I'm going to do a barrel roll, and it's going to somehow make me go faster.
Well, because physics and momentum have no effect in the Mario realm.
Exactly, and then they're gonna continue doing 12-player online races, which is really cool. And then they announced Mario Kart TV. It's their way of sharing videos.
Do we get an ESPN channel?
That would be nice. I mean, they got NASCAR on it. Why not have Mario Kart TV?
It's probably more interesting to watch than NASCAR. I mean, at least, you got shells flying around and you're upside down. But no, overall, it is looking like a very good game, and probably the only reason I'd ever own a Wii U, because that's really the only reason I've ever played my Wii is for Mario Kart. Like, we got the Wii. We didn't buy, anything. We got, I think it was Super Mario Galaxy was the game we had, when we got it. And the next thing we bought was the Mario Kart game that came out for it.
Yeah, my dad has one, and we got the Wii Sports thing. The only thing I've done on that is boxing, and it was because I wanted to beat my little brother, who's an amateur boxer. I was like, can't beat you in real life, bitch. I can beat the shit out of you on the Wii.
Did you make a mock ring in your living room and start flailing your arms around?
Almost. We've done that. We've done that before.
I mean, anybody that's played Wii Sports knows it's all about that tennis.
all about that tennis. I was the
No,
shit
you
at
have to
tennis.
hit the number 2 button, and you do the underhand pitch in baseball. That's a little hint. Throws off everyone. So if you really want to go pro in Wii Baseball, like Wii Sports Baseball, remember the underhand pitch. No one can hit it.
All right. Next up is the Bureau XCOM Declassified. Reb, you're the only one that has any interest in this game, and you just want to mock it.
I love XCOM. I remember I had XCOM UFO Defense, the very original, and Terror from the Deep. And as hard as it was still fun as hell. And then I have played XCOM Enemy Unknown, still fun as hell. It's not as hard at times, but it's just fun and it's XCOM. But this just doesn't really look like XCOM. It has the name XCOM. It has the aliens from XCOM. It's got the guns from XCOM. But it just doesn't feel like XCOM. And it might not be a bad game, but I just don't feel that it's a proper XCOM game because it's a third-person action game, and they're trying to make it, strategic where you can place your guys behind cover. You can pause the game and move them here, do this. But when it still boils down to it, it's a third-person action game from a turn-based strategy game franchise.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to fit. But, who knows? It might turn out to be really good, but I don't have high hopes for it, unfortunately.
I mean, it's always kind of a hit or miss when a franchise does something like that. I mean, there are some people that really loved Halo Wars, and some people that didn't.
That was a great game, just didn't have enough variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have Saints Row 4. What do you got?
Oh, boy.
Dude, the president's the one.
Since we've heard so much from Dave this time around, let's let him talk about this one for a minute.
Suck it, Dave.
Honestly, that looks like a lot of fun. I popped into that video because I was skipping through all the old trailers and whatnot, and I didn't want to watch those, and I hopped into that video, and I just see this guy covered in a blue aura hopping up and down buildings. I'm like, oh, this looks like fun. And he gets out a couple guns and starts playing dubstep, slaying his enemies. I'm like, oh, this looks like a lot of fun. Oh, what the hell is this game? So I go back, and it's like, oh, it's number 4. Wait, this was originally supposed to be a GTA kind of rip-off game. They're going in an awesome direction with this. And it honestly looks like a lot of fun. I think I'm going to enjoy playing it. I know me and my friend, we would get semi-trucks stuck in the drop-down bridges in number 1, and the game couldn't handle it. The trucks would start seizuring and then shoot off into the sky as high as it could, and we would have a blast with that. So I think we're going to have a blast with this one as well.
I think it's a bunch of mindless fun.
Yeah.
There's no thought in it. You just have so much fun doing random ass shit.
Like
What
in
do
the
you
third one, you could run around naked and beat a man with a purple dildo.
I forgot about that.
That was a melee weapon. So it's quite the funny direction that they've gone with the whole franchise, and it's just hilarious what they do with it. So we're gonna parody the Matrix, everything of Alien Invasion, and who knows what the hell else.
Dude, you got lightsabers?
They had lightsabers.
You got the old school lightsabers that look like fucking shiny katanas.
That's awesome.
It was wonderful. I cracked up on that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they made a lot of effort to keep the same sense of humor and the same.
Well, I mean, what do you eventually do in GTA? You just start running bitches over. That's literally all GTA almost ever boils down to, unless you're the kind of person who obeys the law and actually tries to play the game.
No, I was the
and you try
dick
and
that
drive a
always
car.
flew out as far as possible, so you could parachute out of a plane and then handed the controller over to somebody else. Be like, here, you can play. We're 40 miles away from the nearest land, and it takes an hour and a half to swim back. I can't tell you how many times I did that to my brother.
Yeah. I mean, the gameplay changes they've made look awesome. I think it's a really, really big step forward from what I've seen in Saints Row 3. I mean, a lot of people are not so happy about the adding of basically superpowers and you can do anything, man, being the main protagonist.
Screw that. They don't know how to have fun.
Yeah, those are people. Those are the people who follow the rules in GTA. We don't like them. Those are the people who like actually look at the traffic signs and like the street lights and follow them. You always got to blow through them.
I mean, that must be a glorious subset to be a part of. The group that the nerds look down on.
Okay, next up, we have the thing that I'm most excited for. DuckTales. Woo!
Oh,
What
Gotta
they
love DuckTales.
initially said was, what they did was they played the NES version day in, day out until they knew everything about it and recreated it almost completely. So that the game itself is about 60% NES, 40% new. So that's adding like, a few new things that they've done on that. Like, and they also they added maps for the easy and medium difficulty. The music is still wonderful. They said for the moon level, it's the best version of that song that they've ever heard. Which, I mean, it's debatable because it's it's somebody else's opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
remember, the one who has the most money has the best opinion, though. They're always right.
Very true, especially Scrooge McDuck.
I like how they added voices in too. It actually sounds like Scrooge McDuck talking.
No, it is Scrooge McDuck talking. They got
still alive?
the awesome thing is they took everybody that's still alive that was a voice actor for this and brought them in for it, and they are playing their characters.
I just want I want a cameo from Darkwing Duck. That's what I want. That's all I want.
Probably won't happen.
I know.
Especially since that's Daffy.
I know, but God damn it, it's my childhood. That's my childhood right there.
Nephews, whatever.
I can live out my dreams, can't I? There's that 40% of new stuff that could be there.
Darkwing Duck comes up and helps. That would be wonderful.
Yeah,
That's an Easter egg.
That comes out this summer on the PlayStation Network, Steam, and the Xbox Live Arcade. I know how I'm going to be spending the end of my summer.
Playing State of Decay?
Probably.
Yeah. Definitely look out for the secret Easter egg in that game. They have a whole other remake hidden in the game. Remake is Going Quackers. Not really.
Oh.
All right. Next up is the Evil Within, which is Bethesda's survival horror game. It looks creepy as hell. I watched the gameplay that they had for that, and shit. That's all I can say. They wanted to shy away from having a really cluttered HUD, which is really nice, especially for a game like that where you want to be in the cinematic of it and be immersed in the game. One thing that really, or I guess two things that caught my eye were the fact that it's very trap oriented. So one of the situations that the guy gave us was, you go up against 8 people, you have 3 bullets. What are you going to do?
Oh, obviously you're going to 360 no-scope every one of them with double collaterals while jumping off a ladder and then getting a knife final kill cam. Tactical nuke for the win.
You don't use the tomahawk? I like the tomahawk.
Dude, Modern Warfare 2, best game ever.
And then
Riot Shield all day long.
Unpredictable AI was the other thing. How every single time you die, the AI is going to react completely different. So it's never going to be the same way of going through the motions.
Oh, that's just rude. So you don't even learn from your failure?
Hell no. There's no reason to learn from your failures. Life is a bitch, and then you die.
Ow.
That's real talk right there.
That's
Kind of
that's
pissed
the
I
way it
haven't
should
actually
be.
seen anything of this game yet. I kind of came a bit late to the E3 train.
Yeah, you'll have to check that out. It looks really good. That is coming out sometime next year. They really didn't say anything else about it though.
Well, we didn't get Fallout 4, but we got that.
Yeah. Then there's Quantum Break.
Oh boy.
Was one of the final titles for the evening. That just the first thing that caught my eye, I kind of came into the interview and whatnot slightly later than everything else, and it just looked like you stopped time and you were moving around, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
I can agree to that. I was watching it, and it was just a boat going through a bridge. I'm like, well, this is either Half-Life 3, Episode 3 with the Borealis, or I don't know what the hell it is.
It
Yeah.
looked really cool.
Yeah.
And you could bring somebody into your not dealing with explosions and shit, but it was awesome.
No, what do you
one-
mean by bringing people in? I obviously haven't really looked
during
into this game.
during the
Is it just
trailer?
players from like people playing this game, like your friends, or it's just people?
No,
throughout?
what happened was you can play as three different people. Two of them are good. One's the bad guy. Uh, the part that they showed us, one of the guys when they stopped the time or whatever, walked up to somebody who was like in the explosion, going through the wall and whatever, grabs her and pulls her out of the explosion, and she gets caught up in his time. So it's she immediately moves from being in real time where it's stopped to in his time that is going through the stopped motions and whatever,
Right.
and so that they can get away from the explosion. It's kind of cool, but
Does momentum still carry over though? Because like they
Yes.
stop.
that's
So
what it did look like it, because he grabbed her and then she came out of it and they fell down
Right.
and then got back up, made it 5 feet before the explosion actually happened.
Yeah, that was one of the main gameplay things that I mean, they did a pretty good job explaining it, but it wasn't like these group of people have the superpower to stop time. It was more like something terrible has happened with an experiment, and
Yeah.
somehow these people have managed to jump into their own pocket of time that somehow
Like a turn
collides with
back
the other one.
time.
But it definitely didn't seem like they had control over when time stopped and
Yeah,
how it
it
affected
did.
them.
It did catch them off guard, and they still got hit by the explosion.
Right.
But
Do you think as the game would progress, though, they'd finally learn to, like, I guess, grasp this ability of theirs?
Well, that's what I was really trying to say. They didn't really like set it up to be a superpower. It was more like a random event, science experiment that's gone wrong.
I know those. But the one thing that caught my eye was that they're doing this along the lines of a TV show with their TV show for this. So they actually have a TV show. They play the game out like a TV show, and I don't know. It didn't work with Defiance. Defiance just looked like crap.
I watched an episode of Defiance.
How
and,
far into the episode did you actually watch?
The first commercial, and I found something else.
Yeah.
I didn't
Uh,
really. I'm like, oh look, it's the whatever the Seattle Arch, I think it's called. Oh look,
Arch is in St. Louis.
it's St. Louis. There we go. I don't know.
Come
you're
on,
looking for
man.
the
I don't
needle.
know. I don't know landmarks like this. But I'm like, oh look, the arch is in half, and there's
Northeast
like,
douche.
and there's like these minor guys. They're freaking out over something.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Well, the way that they're doing that is you have your main characters in the game. They're going to be in the TV show, but they're not the main characters in the TV show. You have your own separate main characters in the TV show that are. They might be in the game, but you don't play as them. That's the one thing
That's
that I liked about that. And they said that it's going to be on the Xbox One, but it's not a launch title, and they haven't set a release date. They were very quiet about it.
Right.
And
Well, I hope the TV show does well because I think that might constitute how well the game will do, or vice versa. If the game's good, people will probably at least watch a couple episodes of the TV show.
yeah, well, with Defiance, I know people that watched the show that didn't play the game. Like they were saving the time and date to watch the show, but not playing the game.
Well, I don't know. Defiance didn't really. It wasn't advertised that well. Like I didn't see anything for it. Like I have a monthly subscription to Game Informer. And that's how I knew of it, and it still looked pretty dumb. But like I don't think it was very well marketed either.
It felt like they really marketed it very well 6 months ago, and then dropped off the radar and let everybody forget about it.
Mhm.
And then they didn't even come back with they didn't have any kind of big rush when it released. They were just like, okay, I guess we spent our entire marketing budget, 6 months before the game released.
I think we should also realize it's a show on the Sci-Fi Channel, so don't expect a whole lot.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, finally, we have Marvel superheroes.
Not Titanfall.
Titanfall can be later,
Yay!
so you can finally talk about it.
Yes.
Well, with this, you have all of the superheroes from Marvel. They brought in everyone. It's ridiculous. The mechanic
so I
that
get to
I
play as
really
Batman?
liked was. I'm going to kick you in the face.
All right, so I'll be the Flash, and you won't be able to catch me.
Damn it.
But outmaneuvered.
Well, you're fighting Galactus. Galactus, yes. And that's just kind of one of those overall characters that is really cool to see. We didn't get to have any view on him, but that's the entire story on it. Nick Fury gets everybody from Marvel, gets them together and say, "Fight this guy." Okay.
Now, by everyone, do they mean like every obscure, like everyone? Like, I want like the super obscure characters that no one's heard of.
It looked like there was about 60 characters.
Okay, that's a decent amount.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got flying as well. Flying was the one thing that was really cool.
Yeah, they showed off some really outstanding game mechanics that we
Yeah.
haven't seen in LEGO so far. They showed, in the form of shooting fire, they showed some of the long
Flame
distance
on!
aiming. Like, that's a mechanic that I know is previously kind of sucked in LEGO games. But now they're showing you basically being able to point shoot a lot of things and it not being completely stupid to use.
God, I remember back when Lego Star Wars came out, it was just cool that you could build stuff.
Dude, I still play Lego Star Wars.
I
man.
would, but I don't have a PS2 anymore.
Gay.
Yeah, for the 360.
I do. I have Lego Indiana Jones though for my 360. I just don't know where the hell the game is.
But that's not helpful. But it's not helpful.
Not at all.
It belongs in a museum.
I think,
I
they're
think the
past,
Nazis from Wolfenstein have taken it to the moon.
Maybe.
I think they're passing out Lego Indiana Jones like an AOL disc at GameStop at this point.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it looks really good for a Lego game. Like, Legos, you don't expect a lot for their games. Look, like, visual-wise. But this one actually looked pretty good.
Yeah,
What,
it did.
Lego Heavy Rain.
I would love a Lego Heavy Rain. That would be hilarious.
The most mature Lego game known to man.
Yeah. Okay, how do you
Speaking of
solve the
mature.
case of this killer?
They're gonna
Build
put-
something.
We could build something to deal with this.
But first, I'm gonna collect studs.
Supposedly, we have Deadpool as a playable character in this game.
He better talk to himself and us.
That would be awesome.
Do they speak in that Lego game? Because I saw
They do.
parts
They
that-
have voices. They said it was fully voiced. That was one other thing that
That's
I.
cool.
Because I remember
Not about
in
to right
the
now.
originals,
Then-
they just kind of like mumbled.
Dude, even with the mumbling, the gestures and shit that they had were wonderful.
Yeah,
They're very expressive. That's what made the game. The games are they're very genuine. I guess it's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
If everyone has a voice, I really want to play Deadpool.
It might be like somebody that sounds mildly like Ryan Reynolds
Well, I'm just saying.
Why can't it be Ryan Reynolds?
because it's a video game for Legos.
So
No.
They're not going to have enough money to buy him.
Telltale, they just rake in the cash.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think Lord of the Rings was the first Lego game to actually have voice acting in it.
Yeah, I think they just take it from the movie though. They just kind of cut it like,
Mr. Frodo.
"You shall not pass."
Or play this game. Well, Alex, you wanted to talk about Titanfall. I think it's about that time.
I'm very sad that I wasn't able to join you guys for the first two because apparently you talked about Titanfall at least mildly excessively.
Mildly excessively.
Yeah, just
Just
See some
a little a lot.
A little.
I mean,
Yeah.
beating a dead horse with a pickup truck would probably be an accurate description.
No, with a Titan. Come on, joke.
We're going to use our Titans, definitely.
But I finally decided to watch it, and I was just there's my reason right there for buying an Xbox One, because that game, it just looks simple. It's simply wonderful. I'm very picky when it comes to aesthetics, and I mean, you already heard me speak about how game environments and all that fun stuff really sell a game, at least for me. And I have a nice engineering mindset. So right angles, square things, overly mechanical. That's right up my alley. And Titanfall pleased that to every nerve in my body. Everything's bulky, everything's industrial, everything sounds loud. At least it seemed to sound loud. It was in your face, and we get jetpacks.
I got a jetpack. I'm flying so high.
Well, no, you do parkour with jetpacks. And
yes.
That would look it's a very fluid game, and even though all the stuff is very bulky and you could tell everything had a lot of weight to it, it seemed like it was just a very well realized game, and it looked a lot of fun. So there is my reason for an Xbox One right there. Titanfall.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and have everyone's closing thoughts for the day. Peter, go ahead.
Closing thoughts.
Or game of the day.
Game of the day. I mean, that one's pretty obvious. They definitely expanded on BF4 a whole lot more than anything else. I mean, they revisited Quantum Break a little bit, but I think BF4 was definitely what was in the spotlight today, and I think they did a really good job showing off the tablet gameplay and the destructibility of the map. So glad we did not hear 64 people yelling over the gameplay this time around.
I've got the bomb. Good play. Good play.
It's coming down.
I thought their lovely their dialogue seemed very forced and very, very poorly done. But I thought that made it very campy and funny, though.
You could script it and do better job than that.
Yeah.
Or you could have the dolphins
it's a
from
bunch
South
of
Park
I
do
think
it.
they're either Swedish or Norwegian, so they probably don't have the English is definitely not their first language, and they're like they probably watched a bunch of American war films before they came.
All right, Dave, what was your favorite of the day? You like to listen and list everything that's been said.
I was absolutely stoked for the new DuckTales and Saints Row 4. Those will be my picks for today.
Cool.
I can
Alex?
see both of those as being huge time wasters.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to thank the Academy for putting up with my my horrendous voice and all that fun stuff. But no, I'm going to have to agree with Peter that Battlefield 4 that took E3 today for that was really the game that I really looked at today. So they did a great job with what they were showing multiplayer wise, and honestly, that's the only reason you play Battlefield is for multiplayer.
I still haven't even finished the campaign of Battlefield 3.
If you want a modern day rendition of the Black Ops 1 campaign, that's it.
Oh, cool.
It's some Syrian guy has a bunch of suitcase nukes.
So I won't play it until Battlefield 4 comes out.
Yeah, and the numbers
The numbers mean something again?
more
Well,
or less. But
my
Battlefield
favorites were DuckTales. Woo!
Woo!
Woo! And even though I don't have a Wii U, Mario Kart, just because I love Mario Kart. Yeah.
I can definitely agree to that.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
mean,
Mario Kart, just
you
'cause it's
got
Mario Kart.
you got anti-grav, you got the shells at all times, and Waluigi, who was awesome in Mario Tennis for the N64. Hell yes.
I will definitely be playing as Dry Bones if he is so a character.
I would play as Boo because that's all I played it for Mario Tennis.
Dry Bones, man. It's a skeleton.
Screw that. You got Boo.
Dude, skeleton Koopa Troopa, come on.
He's as shy as can be. If you ever look at him, he covers over his eyes and has a big smile. He's like, you can't see me. Well, thank you all for listening. We will have our day 4 tomorrow, and that'll be the final for E3. I have been Matt.
I have been Peter.
I've been Dave.
And this is Reb.
Yo-ho!
Or Alex. Oh, shit, I messed it up.
We're not fixing it. Woo!
Yeah. Woo.
Thank you all. Have a lovely evening.
Fuck off.